Hi everyone, today we are talking about exponents. As a reminder, you do not need to write down everything that we'll cover in this video, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of problem that we'll cover. Also remember that you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you already got it. Just be careful, make sure you don't fast forward too much that you miss out on something important. So let's start off and talk about what exponents are first. Exponents show us repeated multiplication. That's in red because it's very important. The exponent is composed of two different parts. We have the base number, so in this case it's the 4. It looks like a normal number. And the base number is later going to be multiplied by 1 and itself. The power is on the top right hand corner and it's a smaller size number. It tells you how many times you're actually going to multiply. So go ahead and pause this video and jot this down first, and we're going to go over some examples. Alright, so what I have set up for you here is an exponents table, specifically for the base number of 3. So these are all powers of 3 going in reverse order, 4, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Make sure you pause the video and jot this down in your notes before we go over it. Alright, so we have the exponent, then the expanded form, the answer, and how you actually pronounce or say the exponent. This is a base number of 3 and a power of 4. You say 3 to the power of 4, or you can also call this 3 to the 4th power. So what that means is that the 3 is being multiplied over and over and over again, also by 1, and how many times is 4. So you'll see the 3 1, 2, 3, 4 times. When you do that, you get the answer of 81. For 3 to the 3rd power, or 3 to the power of 3, it is now only 3 times. 1, 2, 3. 3 3's multiplied by 1, and that gives you the answer of 27. Whenever you have the power of 3, you also have the special phrasing of how you say it. So you use the word cubed. You could say 3 to the power of 3, 3 to the 3rd power, or 3 cubed. Because a cube is a 3-dimensional object. It has 3 dimensions, length, width, and height. Length, width, and depth. So that's where we got the cubed from. Similarly, 3 to the 2nd power, or 3 to the power of 2, it has only 2 3's being multiplied together, so 3 times 3 times 1 is 9. That has a special name as well, 3 squared, because a square is a 2-dimensional shape with only 2 dimensions of length and width. 3 to the 1st power, or 3 to the power of 1, only has 1 3 being multiplied by 1, so that answer is 3. And then you can also have 3 to the power of 0. And in that case, a lot of people usually assume that that answer is 0 because they see 0 in the power, but it just means that 3 is going to show up in the expanded form 0 times. So there actually isn't a number there. It's not 0 that's there. There's just the absence of a number. So it's really just 1 left over, not being multiplied by anything at all. So you're just left with 1. Any number, so any number as the base, to the power of 0 will always end up as 1 because there's no number that's being multiplied by. The 1 is literally the last one left over. So that answer is automatically 1, not 0. Common mistakes that can be made with exponents are the following. And you can jot this down in your notebook because this happens so often. For the question 4 to the 3rd power, the correct way to expand it would be to take the base number, which is 4, and multiply it by itself 3 times and 1. So that's why we end up with 1 times 4 times 4 times 4. 3 of those 4's based on the power. And that'll give us 64. Sometimes people see the 4 to the 3rd power and they change it into 4 times 3, which is 12. It's not the same answer. So it's important for you to know that 4 times 3 and 4 to the third power are very different. Remember, exponents show repeated multiplication. This is multiplication that's being repeated again and again, times 4, times 4, times 4. 4 times 3 is equal to 12 because 4 times 3 is actually repeated addition. You're basically adding 4 3 times. 4 plus 4 is 8. 8 plus 4 is 12. So it's important to know the difference there. Exponents show repeated multiplication. Multiplication is not the same. That's just repeated addition. That's your shortcut instead of adding over and over and over again. So be sure to have that in your notes because it is super common to make that mistake. And now we're going to do a couple of examples on Khan Academy. So here is the first example. You are being asked to evaluate or get the answer for 0 squared. Go ahead and pause the video, see if you can solve it on your own first. Okay, so 0 to the second power, remember 0 is the base number. That's going to be the one repeated over and over again. And 2 is the power. So that's going to tell us how often it's going to repeat. And remember, you're always going to multiply by 1. So the base number is the one repeated, and the power tells you how many times. So it's 2 times, 1 and 2. 2 zeros. And then I just do the math. 1 times 0 is 0, and then 0 times 0 is 0. As long as you have a 0 in there, your answer is going to be 0. So this answer is 0. Anything multiplied by 0 is 0. Hope you got that one correct. Let's try another one. For this problem, you need to evaluate 12 to the second power, or also 12 squared. Pause the video and try it on your own first. Okay, again, the 12 is our base number, so that's going to be multiplied by 1 2 times. 2 tells us how many times. There's 1 12 and 2 12s, so that means we're done with our expanded form. You are going to multiply 1 by 12, which is already 12, and 12 times 12. You can multiply 12 times 12. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 1 is 24. And then we have another 12 here because it's being multiplied by 1. So the answer is 144. Okay. This one is 2 to the fourth power. Try it on your own first. Okay, so you should have 1 times 2. 2 is being multiplied 4 times, so I have to make sure I have 4 of those 2's. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I just do that math. 1 isn't really going to do anything, so we can kind of ignore it for now. 2 times 2 is 4, and another 2 times 2 is 4. Those two have to be multiplied together. 4 times 4 is 16, so you should have 16 as your answer. All right, this is what I wanted to get to. Here you have to match each expression to its exponential form. Exponential form is just like the expanded form. What does it look like when you actually do the math calculations? So go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own first. All right, let's see, for this one, I am gonna start by eliminating some stuff. So obviously this one has to match up with 4 to the 5th power because it's the only one with 4 as its base. And let me just double check that there's 5 of those 4's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Got it. Good. The other 2 have the same base numbers. I'm going to have to do a little bit more digging here. 5 to the 4th power is equal to 1 times 5, and there's 4 of those 5's. And this one looks like it's already at the correct spot. There's 4 of those 5s. Sometimes people will get rid of that times 1 at the end, so it's really the same answer. And then 5 to the 3rd power, it should be 125. Let's see, it has 3 5s, and we're just going to double check and make sure that that is the answer. 5 times 5 is 25. Then I still have to multiply by that last 5. 25 times 5, 5 times 5, 25. 5 times 2 is 10. 10 plus 2 is 125. So these are all correct. They could also ask you to write an expression using an exponent. So they're giving you the expanded form, and you are giving the exponent form. Go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own first. All right, first thing I'm going to do is see that they're all 9s, so that has to be my base number. And then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 9s. So the answer should be 9 to the 7th power. So we're going to need to put 9 down, and then I'm going to click on this button, A to the B power, so that I can get an exponent, a power there, and I'm going to put 9 to the 7th power. Okay, our last example will be this one. Write an expression equal to 9 to the 4th power. Some cards may not be used. So they want you to write the expanded form. So that's the one with all the multiplication signs. Go ahead and pause the video and try it on your own first. Okay, so 9 to the 4th power means that 9 is my base number, and 4 is my power, so that means there has to be 4 of those 9s. It should have a multiply by 1 as well, but we don't have a 1 here as the card, so we're just going to have to duplicate this. And they said some cards may not be used. Looks like we're not using any of the 4 cards, so that's okay. We're just going to keep on dragging until we have 9 times 9 4 times. So right now I have 9 times 9 times 9. I just need 1 more. Okay. So let me know if you have questions as you work on these, and I will see you in class.